All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to today's Program Yourself Thin podcast. Today, we're talking about a slow start to your weight loss. Now, I realize when I say that, it could mean a couple things here. So, you may have started trying to lose weight and it may be a slow start to it. But more of what I'm talking about is literally approaching your weight loss with the intention that you're going to start slow. What a crazy idea. I know that idea doesn't really exist very often. And I get it because most of the time when you're thinking about weight loss, you're thinking about all or nothing, right? So by the time you get to do your weight loss, it's usually a Monday. You're fired up. You're ready to go. You're in all mode, ready to do everything you need to do. And so the idea that you would lose weight slow in that mode is not going to work out, right? Because it completely demotivated. If I'm not going to lose weight quick, then I'm not going to do all the stuff I have to do. Okay, I get that. So if you want to start off and just hit everything 100%, go ahead. What I'm talking about is when you don't feel that way. I'm talking about the times when you don't feel like starting a plan, when you know you want to lose weight, but you can't get yourself to do it. That's what I'm talking about. And in those situations, if you can shift your mindset from waiting for that perfect time to, let me just start slow. Let me just do anything. Let me do one little thing that's going to move me in the direction I want, even if it's hardly anything at all. Because the biggest difference in your weight loss is not to go from nothing to all. The biggest difference is to go from nothing to something all the time. Because most of the time when you jump up into your all mode, you're only doing it for a couple days or a couple weeks at most. And you're never going to get the results you want in a couple days or weeks. The results you're really looking for, the results you truly fantasize about in the back of your mind, those are results that you can only get after months and years. So the secret to mastering your weight is not to start perfectly, not even to start really strong a lot of times. It's to start and stay started consistently. And if you focus on your weight loss starting slow, you open yourself up to a lot more things that you can do, because most people, when they think about weight loss, can only think of the extreme stuff, the starting the keto plan, the counting the calories, the not eating for 16 hours. And it's overwhelming. And this is why you're avoiding it most of the time. And so you have this all or nothing mindset, but most of the time you do not want to be all. And so the real secret is realizing that there's a whole bunch of something that most of the time it's going to be the thing that you're going to be able and willing to do. And so if you can ease off of your impatience, ease off of your need for instant results, and start looking at little tiny things you can do consistently, comfortably, that are going to move you in the direction you want, you're going to find that this is the real secret to changing your weight and to approaching it a completely different mindset that most likely is going to get way better results than you've been getting. So hope this helps you out. If you want some support with this, go click the link in my bio or go to programyourselfthin.com and get the free hypnosis session I give you, and go listen to it. So hope you're all having a nice day. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I've got a straggling eyebrow hair. If I can see it out of the corner of my eye, it's driving me nuts. But anyways, yes, I hope everyone's having a nice Monday. What's up, Lisa? How's it going? Hope you had a nice Easter if you celebrate it, and are feeling excited about the summer. I do know that this is a time of year where a lot of people do start focusing on their weight loss because summer is right around the corner. And you may have overdid it a little bit during the Easter, during the last couple of weeks, couple months. That's all right too. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to ask them. I'm happy to answer them. Let's see here. Little technical issues earlier. So hey, whatever though. Get started noon. I'm calling it noon. I don't care. If I'm within 10 minutes of noon, I call it noon. And I'm here live every day. Every weekday. Talking about weight loss. Technically talking about weight mastery. I like to make that distinction that weight loss is really about getting to your goal weight. Weight mastery is about living at your goal weight. And the real goal you have for yourself is to live at your goal weight, not just to get there for a couple days and then put the weight back on, which sounds obvious when I say it. However, when you look at how you try and lose weight, you'll notice that the diets all focus you exclusively on losing weight. And so this is why most people that try to lose weight do extreme things that are unsustainable, and they don't sustain them. So 95 to 98% of people that lose weight on a diet put it back on. Big problem. Because when you get that many people that lost weight and then put it back on, it's not a willpower focus question. They got the results. So if you can get the results, how come they can't maintain them? And I think that's a very valuable question to ponder. And especially in your own experience, why didn't you maintain your results? And you will probably most likely explain it by saying, well, I don't have the willpower or the focus, or, you'll have some reason or idea of it, but it's probably not an accurate one. So recognizing that your entire life, you have been conditioned to think about weight loss as the process of losing weight. You've never learned how to think as a thin, healthy person who can live at your goal weight for the rest of your life. And as humans do what we have learned pretty much. I've been watching birds lately. My wife and daughter are into birds. And I like being outside, so I like going tagging along. But it makes you realize, birds aren't really doing what they learn. They just know what to do. Humans, we are different. We need to be shown what to do most of the time. And when it comes to weight loss, we have been shown the wrong stuff. We have been taught by diet companies and food companies how to think about our weight, how to think about weight loss, and they're not very trustworthy. They are not giving us the best information. So at this point, you have probably been trying to lose weight or manage your weight for decades unsuccessfully. And you probably blame yourself for it. You probably think you're the reason they haven't been able to do it, which is only partly true. Because the reason you think you can't do it is you think you have no willpower. But the real reason you're struggling to stay at your goal weight is because you have not learned how to think, live, and eat like a thin, healthy person. And once you learn that, the whole process is a lot easier. So that's what we're talking about here. Program yourself then. So if you have any questions about weight, feel free to ask them. If not, forever hold your peace. I have a quiet group today, which is fine because, as usual, I have a ton of work to do. So kind of sticking with these podcasts and shorten them up a little bit. But I'm going to keep them for the foreseeable future, perhaps. But anyways, if there's any weight questions, feel free to ask them. I'm kind of feeling like I'm ready to go. All right, very good. Have a great day, everyone. If you want to go deeper into my world, click the link in my bio, get the free hypnosis session, watch the video I made for you, read the emails, and realize that you can master your weight, not just lose it. And it's a much better strategy and experience. Oh, there's Melancholy Green. Let's get to that question. My first thought is to find someone or something outside myself to blame. Now my focus is what about me? Is allowing myself to quit. Why am I choosing to give up? It's a me problem, not a them problem. Yeah, well, that's great, Melancholy. I mean, it's good to reflect, but that question's terrible. Don't take that personally. My job is to point problems out and give you solutions. So yes, great realization that your first thought is to find someone or something outside of yourself to blame. Very common. Most of the time, when it comes to weight, we're always blaming something, either someone, some food, ourselves, typically. And that's not going to help us create the solution. So, but my next piece to you, Melancholy, is to be careful of your mindset. All humans have a negativity bias. We are born with a negativity bias, meaning we're more likely to notice the negative thing than the positive thing. It's an evolutionary thing that supports our survival. It was more important to remember where the lion was than where the beautiful flower was. So we all have a negativity bias. Now, most of you that are listening to this are also overthinkers. So when you combine overthinking and a negativity bias, it's a bad sign. It's a bad situation, which creates bad hypnosis, where you're constantly asking questions like, why am I choosing to give up? Why do I keep struggling? Why is this so hard for me? Why do I keep quitting? Why can't I ever lose weight? All of these questions are problem-oriented questions. And what they do, even though you think you're going to resolve and answer that question and then everything's going to change after that, it's not true because your subconscious mind does not understand negatives. So if I tell you to get your willpower together and don't think about what I'm about to say, don't think about a banana. Don't think about a banana. Well, even though I told you not to think about it, you're thinking about a banana. And so when we ask questions like, why am I choosing to give up on myself? Why do I always give in and eat the candy? it's about the problem, right? And again, we want to try and understand it. Once we understand it, then we're going to fix it. But no, that's not what happens. Instead, what happens is we start to live within this question. We just keep thinking about it and think, why do I keep giving up? Why do I keep giving up? I keep giving up. Why do I keep giving up? And we keep reinforcing that problem orientation and everything that's revolving around it, which is a lot, creates a whole little world of problem. So what we want to do is articulate. Now, again, we're always going to start with the problem. That's fine. But we can start with, why am I choosing to give up, and shift that over into a solution. And a solution perhaps would be something like, how can I keep myself going even when my motivation fades a little bit? What can I do to refocus myself when I feel my motivation flagging a little? What are some easy, comfortable ways to get myself fired up when I want to feel more motivated? So you see, it's the same question, but now it's aimed at the solution. And if you start obsessing on these solution-oriented questions, you subconsciously are obsessing on the solution, and it changes lots of different things. So don't know if that means a whole lot to you all, but that is a fundamental aspect of creating change. What's up, Vicky? How's it going? Yes, problem-oriented to solution-oriented is probably one of the biggest mindset shifts that you can make. And it is super duper important for all of you, especially if you're listening here, because I almost know that you're an overthinker already. I know you're an overthinker. And overthinkers that obsess on negative problems are going to be in big trouble, because they're just going to create more and more of that in their lives. Listen to the Friday podcast Saturday and Sunday while I was hiking, helped me with my mood. Oh, very good. Nice job, Vicky. Melancholy says, love this. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome, Melancholy. Yeah, again, it's just about learning how to use your brain. Like if you're not getting the results you want, I guarantee you a big part of it is your mindset. Of course, there's always knowing what to do. There's strategies, of course. But the biggest thing impacting really your life, but certainly your weight, is your mindset. And once you understand your mindset and how to influence it, it's just like learning anything else. But most of you have no idea how to influence your mindset. You're just treating it as doesn't even matter, I guess. The idea that you can just lose weight and keep the same mindset is crazy to me. But I guess that's just what people think, that they'll just deal with the mindset later. They'll just force themselves to do the right stuff for now and then get to the mindset later. I don't know. It's strange. Vicky said, definitely put me in a better mindset. Nice job. Good job. That's a smart way to do it, Vicky, right? Yeah. Find the things that put you in a better mindset and use them. It's not rocket science when we look at it usually. John says, lost 30 kilograms, got obsessed with losing weight, then developed an ED. I often regret losing the weight. I often feel that I was happier before. Take care, guys. Yeah, but people say that, but this is what you're a human being. You can grow and evolve and change. So humans think in black or white because it's simpler. The main organizing principle of your brain is to conserve energy. So your brain is always looking for shortcuts and the easiest way to possibly think about things that save the most energy. So John here could lose 30 kilograms and then say, well, I got obsessed and developed an ED, and now I regret ever losing the weight. Instead of saying, okay, I lost 30 kilograms, developed an ED. How can I get myself healthy again with the food piece? How can I learn from the mistakes I made and create a better, more evolved system? I often feel like I was happier before. How can I take the parts that made me happier before, combined with the weight loss results to make me happier now, and combine them to become the happiest person I could ever imagine? You see? But again, John, so congrats on taking action, but now it's time to grow and learn and join the club. Almost every single person that loses weight has to you've got to deal with your mindset at some point. I mean, listen, 90, 95%, 98% I've seen estimates up to of people that lose weight on a diet, put it back on. I say that every day, and I know it just kind of goes in one ear and out the other, but think about that. Think about that, because that's the whole game here. Losing weight is easy. You've all lost weight before. The problem is living at your goal weight. And so every single person, again, in Program Yourself, then we start with the maintenance right on day one, because it's all about living your goal weight. But whatever, take the typical diet route, lose the weight first. At some point, you're going to have to deal with your mindset. And John's a perfect example of this. But you can't be in this binary world where it's like, I'm either 30 kilograms heavier and I don't have an ED, or I've got an ED and I'm 30 kilograms lighter. So they're both bad. No, No, we can't accept that. We have to articulate and describe a reality that we want that has the best of both worlds. Our brain's not going to do that automatically. Our brain is fucking lazy. This is why you all struggle to lose weight. You've never learned how to live at your goal weight. Not even one time have you learned that. You've learned how to lose weight for a little while. And so again, I applaud your effort, John, but do not talk like you're talking like you've got two options. And you don't. You obviously have proven to yourself that you can change dramatically in your life. So, take your experiences that you've had over the last couple of years and now articulate a more evolved goal that includes your past experiences from the last couple of years, where you can be at the weight you want in the way that serves you best, where you're healthiest and happiest. So keep taking action, though. It's going to be worth it. Because it says, how about ongoing throughout life having to deal with your mindset? Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, absolutely. For the rest of your life, you got to deal with your mindset. You know, in Program Yourself Thin, it's I always think of it like brushing your teeth. Brushing your teeth is the royal habit for most of us. It's really that's the habit you should really model and look at all the time, because the question becomes, how many habits like that can I install into myself? I've got a number of them, because in Program Yourself, then we break things down to mindset, lifestyle, eating. Mindset, lifestyle, eating habits. How many habits in those categories can I install into myself? And I have tons of them now. And they just run on pretty much autopilot, just like your toothbrushing runs on autopilot. Right? You kind of have a vague idea when you're doing it, if you did it, but it just pops in your head when you do it. That's wonderful. That's when your brain is operating at almost like one of its highest levels, in my opinion. That's that subconscious behavior that runs pretty much on autopilot. And when you program your subconscious mind to do things on autopilot that keep you thin, healthy, and happy, life is a lot different. So yeah, but we need habits and routines to maintain our mindset health, just like you need to brush your teeth to maintain your teeth health. But yeah, it goes on forever. You can't just stop. What's up, Hans? I see. Man says mindset is what, a mood? No, mindset's a lot more. I mean, mindset in Program Yourself Thin, mindset is 6 categories. It's motivation, self-image, emotions, habits, thinking, and maintenance. It's funny. I just slow up on that because I switched the order of 2 of them. So I'm trying to install that one. I'm so excited for all you Program Yourself Thin people. It's coming this week. I got it. I know I say a lot of times, like, all the stuff I'm going to do and I'm going to release it. I have all this stuff ready. I know I got to say that too, but it's so exciting for Program Yourself Thin. The program is kind of it's all the same stuff, but it's just redesigned into an easier to understand package, I would say. And that'll be released first thing through the Weight Mastery. I'm calling them plans. I think I'm gonna switch it, but maybe I'll keep blueprints. I'm not positive, but those questions are redesigned so you can just kind of go through them. The training is going to be redone at some point just to reinforce that new concept. But anyways, it's real cool because I think it's just easier to understand the whole system. So super excited for all of you to get that. And I've got, I would say, a preliminary draft of the blueprints redone, ready to go, but I want to tweak it over the next couple of days, make sure everything's in there, have it ready. But you should have it this week. But anyways, yeah, so that's mindset. Mindset's more than a mood. Mood in Program Yourself, then we refer to mood as state. And that's, the internal experience you're having at the moment. So you could call it an emotion if you wanted to, but state's a little more technical and it means more in the program. But mood, emotion, state in the moment, it's the same thing. But mindset's bigger. Melancholy says, diets say address the body and the mind will follow. No wonder they have never worked long-term, but with that solution focus is a great shift to make. Yeah, solution focus is what it's all about. I mean, I am obsessed with solution-oriented thinking. So that's what's exciting. That's when I talk about the program's kind of been repackaged a bit. What I like about it so much is kind of like the biggest ideas are now float up to the surface and they're constantly reinforced. So you're going to have a much clearer paradigm of what we're doing with all the same stuff you've been doing, but now it's just in a more accessible package. The container is just easier to understand. Hope that makes sense. But solution oriented is one of the big concepts that if you, and again, because my program is for overthinkers. If you're not an overthinker, if you're someone who doesn't think a whole lot, do not get my book, my program. It will not, it's not for you. My program is exclusively for overthinkers because I work with people. I am a person who's just always in my head thinking constantly. Now, another way to look at that process of overthinking is you're constantly programming yourself. You have kind of this supercomputer where you're constantly talking to yourself, constantly remembering things, constantly thinking about stuff. The question is, what are you thinking about things and how are you thinking about them? And when you change what and how you're thinking about things, you make dramatic changes in your life. And that is what Program Yourself Thin's all about. So, again, that's why this is a big deal, because conceptually, it's just going to help you install and understand the process a lot more. So anyways, yeah, solution-oriented stuff if you train yourself to be solution-oriented and you start looking at your world with a more solution-oriented mindset and glasses, if you will, it's transformative. Like it changes your reality. Reality is not like out there. Reality is really seen out there through our mind. So if we focus on problems, we will see our reality will all of a sudden be full of problems. If we start to obsess on solutions, our reality all of a sudden starts to have a bunch of solutions in it. I don't know if this sounds like, woo-woo crazy talk, because this is basic neuroscience. Like it literally is. Reality is not just this. It's both, right? Reality is problems and solutions. They're both out there in the world. The question is, your reality, what you notice, is very much dictated by what you're thinking. And you know this because whatever car you drive, you notice that car on the road a lot. You're not looking for it. You just naturally notice it because it's part of your life. It means more to you than the other cars. Whatever you may do for work, right? If you're, I don't know, if you're an accountant, you notice all the accountant places. It's funny. I was driving yesterday. I noticed all the dentist places because there's some new ones. But if you're a dentist, you know all the dentist offices. So again, this is how reality works. We basically see the reality externally that we believe in our mind. And so if you can train yourself to be solution oriented, you step into a reality where there's a whole lot more solutions available for you. And what you'll quickly notice when it comes to weight loss is you are stuck, trapped, imprisoned in a world of problems. When it comes to your weight, you have no solutions for your weight. No, you don't. You may, at best, you have some ideas about how to lose weight. You have almost zero. If you're like most people, you have almost like zero solutions of how to live at your goal weight long-term. And if you have no solutions available to you, how are you ever going to get the results you want? And that's my big question to you. And so once you understand what the solutions are, life becomes a lot easier. And without them, it's practically impossible. So, I see, I'm not sure how you say this, AGN. How to start. What I suggest to start in my world is click on the link in my bio or go to programyourselfthin.com and get the free hypnosis session I give you. Because once you sign up for that, I bring you to a training, 3 steps to master your weight. It's all free. Go check it out. And if you really like what you're seeing, I do have a program, but I give you free shit first to make sure it's the right thing, because there's nothing worse for me than people that get into the program that aren't a good fit. So I try and if anyone does want to get involved with me, I want them to realize, understand what it's all about. But yeah, that's the best way to get started. It's a 10-minute hypnosis session. You can listen to anytime and it'll start working its magic. And then if you watch the video, I think it's a paradigm shifter. It just makes you understand your weight much differently than you do now. And if you understand it differently, you'll probably, at the very least, you're more likely to get better results. How could you not? If you have better strategies, how can you have a better chance of success? Queen Victoria says, toothbrushing is a perfect analogy. I'm really excited to see the new blueprints I have with them. Yeah, I can't wait either. Yeah, you're going to love it, Victoria. All of you people in the program are going to love it. It's the best improvement in the program forever. So like I said, and I've been saying this for a couple of weeks, but hey, things take a little time. That's what it is. Shit, I've been working on Program Yourself Thin for over 20 years professionally. I was thinking that 20 years. I was reflecting on this over the weekend because I'm really at a point where things are about to really transformed for the whole thing. And I'm super excited. And I said to myself, geez, I wish I did this 20 years ago. Yeah, of course. Of course. But, sometimes you got to do things for a long, long time to finally figure it out. And this improvement in the program feels like the biggest improvement ever. And, like I said, I've been doing it for over 20 years, but I definitely think the last 2.5, 3 years, I really been doing a lot of group coaching and doing the podcast. And so that has allowed me to speak about program yourself thin to groups of people that know nothing about it. So I can been practicing talking about it in the clearest way possible. And then working with more people just using the program on its own and being able to communicate with them. Because a lot of times I was working with just my private clients, and that's not what most people's experience is. So, when I work with private clients, I can just kind of meet them where they're at and take them where they need to go. But making a program accessible to a lot of people is really, I found it to be hard the whole time. I've been working on it for 20 years. It's hard to be able to impact a great number of people that you're not get to directly work with. I have found that to be a challenge. But anyways, here I am over 20 years into it. And I have finally figured out conceptually how to put all the key and most important pieces in a way that I think is most easily understood, I will say. And it's reinforced and taught and laid out, I think, without question, the most effective way. I hope. You never know until you get feedback, but I'm pretty sure. So I'm excited for you all to get that, and then it'll all be coming. Yeah, what's up, Kent? And new weight works every time. Kent's killing it over here. Deb says, if we joined your program a while ago, do we still get the new blueprint? Yes, absolutely. Anyone, if that's a promise I make to you all. And that if you've ever gotten the mastery program, you get lifetime updates, and that includes what's coming up. So, which is exciting. And at least for the foreseeable future, you'll still get access to those Tuesday classes, those live Tuesday classes, which I really love because I get it. I mean, sometimes there starts and stops in life, you know what I mean? So sometimes, you just get to a point in life and you get distracted from the program, whatever. But what I love about the Tuesday classes for the people in the mastery program is you can get access to that whenever you get re-engaged, just to pop on there. Again, I don't know if they're going to stay the same. I've been doing classes. The classes might stop at some point. It might just be a Q&A. So if you have any questions, you can pop on there and chat with me. But that's still available to everyone that's ever been in the mastery program. So that's kind of cool to me, that's just free. But yeah, you'll also get all the updated stuff. And the blueprints will be the first thing you'll get. The blueprints will be out there. And then the trainings are going to be updated to reflect the blueprints. So again, like I said, the information is very similar. So if you watch the trainings all the time, if you watch the trainings, the workshops, the information is going to be similar. Just the difference is the framing of it's going to be a little different. It's all going to be a more unified whole. That's the only difference. So he says solution under mindset plus all or something is life-changing. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, good. Got all the questions answered. I'm going to get out of here quick. I do have a lot of stuff to do. So, all right, everyone, have a super duper week. And remember, I'm here Monday through Friday, live, noon Eastern. If you have any questions, pop on here and ask them. I'm happy to help you out. If you're not in my world yet, click the link in my bio. Go get the hypnosis session. Go watch the video. Read the emails. I'm here to support you. Those are all free things. Okay, so I'm happy to help you out for free. So go check that stuff out, though. It's life-changing. I don't say that lightly. So, all right, everyone, have a super duper day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.